By the end of this video, you're going to know exactly how to structure your days, your weeks, and even your months so that you can grow your advisory or CFO business without burning out. And more than that, you're going to understand how to take back control of your time instead of feeling like it is constantly slipping through your fingers. If you're an accountant or CFO building an advisory practice, here is what I know is probably going on. You're constantly in reactive mode. Clients are calling you, your inbox is absolutely brimming, deadlines are always looming, and compliance work must always get done first, and everything feels urgent. What you would love is more space to breathe, and you don't want to feel overwhelmed, and you're definitely fed up with being completely underpaid. The key, of course, is higher quality clients, and you know that's what you want, and you want the predictable revenue that doesn't depend on you working all the time. There's fear underneath it, fear you're going to burn out, fear that it's too late to change, fear that no matter how hard you work, you're always going to be behind. But then there is also the dream, and that dream is freedom and flexibility and being present for the moments that matter. Running a business that feels like joy, not a drain, is what you desire. As you know, being busy is not a business model, so we're going to change you from being busy. What I'm about to share helped me go from absolutely exhausted and overworked to actually running a highly profitable advisory consulting business on around 20 hours a week. And this is what I now call a freedom practice. The foundation of what I'm going to share with you today is 3 steps. Step 1 is knowing where you are on your business journey so that you can have clarity on the what you should be working on. Then we time map your days and weeks so that you know when you should be working on the what. And then refining this with a simple method that I have developed called CDS, which stands for Cut, Delegate and Systemize. It enables you to optimize every hour, actually every minute in your week. When you apply these 3 steps, your calendar stops feeling chaotic and starts feeling like a strategy. So let me rewind for a second. 15 years ago, I was a single mum on housing benefit. My kids were 5 and 8 years old, and I was absolutely cream crackered. I didn't have any money and I didn't have much time, but I had grit and gumption. I would wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning and I would write blog posts. My school run was at 8:15 and I would be at work at around 9 o'clock every single morning. I would then spend the day doing client work. I'd pick up the kids at 3 o'clock. I'd do dinner, I'd do bedtime, I'd do homework, and I'd have the kids in bed at 7 o'clock. But then I would be back at my desk till 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. And that's how I built my first 6 figures in my business. And I'll be honest, it wasn't sustainable. So I started looking for a smarter way to work. And that's where all of this began. Now, here's why most business owners stay stuck. They try to copy what a 7-figure business owner does before they even hit their first 6 figures. They think that being busy all the time and being productive is the answer to success, and they try to grow by doing more when the answer actually lies in doing less but better. You see, you don't need more hours and more hustle. You need a way to run your day that works for you and your business, and very importantly, your life. So now let's talk about the framework. This is the part that most people skip, and it's why their diary doesn't work for them. We start with something super simple, but incredibly important, and it's understanding and knowing your stage of your business, because how you spend your time correlates to where you are in your business journey. So let me share with you now the 4 different stages. First stage is dream up. This is the kind of spark stage. This is where you've got an idea, you're scribbling notes, you're watching videos just like this one, and maybe talking to your friends about, what if I can make this work? You've probably got more time than you have money, and it's excitement that's fueling you. The next stage is what we call the startup stage. So this is when you've actually taken the leap and decided to launch your business. You've got a few clients, maybe you've got some early revenue coming in, but you are doing everything. You're doing the work for clients, the sales, the admin, the social posts, the tea making. It is intense, but it's still thrilling. Sadly, it's also absolutely exhausting. You're fueled on passion. The next stage is the grow up stage. And here the business is solid. You've got consistent income. Maybe you've got a small team supporting you. Your time, though, is still under pressure, and you feel under immense stress as your costs are high and you have to bring in revenue to survive. You're paying for your team, you're in the weeds, and suddenly you realise that you're too busy to grow. And that's when things start to feel really heavy for you. And then finally, the fourth stage is the scale up stage. And this is where you're looking for leverage. It's not about you just having more revenue. You're actually here looking for freedom. You want to take your business to actually having money without you and without you having to do everything. You want the time to think when you're in this stage. You want to create, you want to breathe. Each of these stages comes with its own time rhythm and its own priorities. The mistakes that I see all the time is someone who is in startup trying to structure their week like they're in a scale up, or somebody in grow up forgetting they're not in startup anymore. But when you align your diary to your stage, that's when it starts to work out for you, not against you. So once you've identified your stage, dream up, start up, grow up, scale up, next you need to take stock of where your time's going. You've got 4 clear zones that you should be working in: marketing, sales, client delivery, and strategy. So when you've worked out what you need to do in a week and which of these things you need to focus on, you need to schedule it in your diary. You need to block out hours and days for each of those quadrants. For example, for me, Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays are client days. Mondays are team days, and Fridays are what we call Freedom Friday. And we have Freedom Friday across the whole of our business. And Freedom Friday means that we keep it clear for whatever we want to do, whether it's creating content or going to the cinema to see a film. Then what we do, once we've time mapped our week, is we layer in my CDS method. And CDS stands for cut, delegate, and systemize. So let me break this down for you. Cut. This is where you're looking at everything on your plate and asking yourself, what can I actually cut, get rid of? What's just noise? What's a nice to have that is costing you clarity and time and overwhelming you? Maybe it's that you're checking emails all day. Maybe you're saying yes to things that don't actually serve your goals. This is the part where you have to get really honest with yourself, because freedom doesn't come or start with doing more. It starts with letting go. We take a minimalist approach to our homes. We get rid of the clutter. We decide to free up space and energy so that we can breathe, yet we don't do this with our business. And this is so important. The minimalist approach works just as well, if not even better, when it comes to running your business. Next, we delegate, and this one can be the hardest, especially if, like me, you are a little bit of a control freak. But if someone else can do it just about 80% as well as you can do, you do need to hand it over. It could be your admin work, it could be scheduling your content, it could be chasing invoices and payment. Your job is to protect your energy for the stuff that really moves the needle and enables you to move up the different stages of running your business. You see, that's what running a business is all about. And then finally, in the CDS system, we have systemize, and this is where the magic happens. I want you to think about the things that you repeat time and time again every single week. Maybe you're repeating things once, twice, 3, 4 times. It could be the same onboarding steps for your clients. It could be answering the same questions that every single client has. It could be sending the same reminders that need to be reminded to your clients, and you're having to type it out and send those emails individually or chase clients individually. All of these things need systems. They need templates. They need checklists. They need automation. Maria, my integrator here at the Business Advisor Academy, has a rule. If I have to do it more than once, we need to build a system for it so it doesn't need doing. Simple as that. And when you build a system around something that you do more than once, that's when you really start to create space. And that space, that's where the growth lies. So how do you actually use all of this? Well, you start by doing the work for yourself. You run a time audit. You look honestly at where you're spending your days, and then you apply CDS, cut, delegate, systemize, one tiny piece at a time. It isn't just about listening to the idea I'm sharing with you though. This is about implementing what I'm sharing. You've got to clear the clutter so that you can create real traction, not just in your business, but in your life too. And once you've done that, you'll finally have time for the marketing, the lead generation, the sales conversations, the delivery, and showing up doing what you really want to do to grow your advisory and CFO practice. That is how you stop saying, I don't have the time, and you start making the time. So what I'd like to do now is flip the script. No time, when you do this, becomes built-in breathing room. Client chaos becomes carefully chosen high-value relationships, and burnout, well, actually, that just turns into a business you actually want to show up for. And that's the real shift here. You stop reacting and you start designing. CDS doesn't just give you hours back. They actually give you the clarity, it gives you control, and most importantly, it gives you your power back. Let me leave you today with a quick story. One of my clients came to me and she was working 60 hours a week. She was super smart and very brilliant, but she was drowning. We did a time map, we applied CDS, and she shifted to 3 client days a week and focused on sales and strategy within the Monday and the Friday. What happened over 6 months is she actually managed to double her income and she halved her stress and the hours that she was working with clients. You see, when you design your time, your business starts to follow your lead. And it's about designing a life you want to live and a business that supports that lifestyle, not one that swallows it whole. And it all starts with having clarity and knowing what you need to be doing. If you want to try this out, why don't you send me a message on LinkedIn and request my CDS worksheet that goes with this video. You can use it to take stock. You can use it to spot the time leaks and start to build your version of a freedom practice. And once you've done that, block out your first Freedom Friday. Even if it's just 1 hour on Freedom Friday, start there. That hour is yours. If you've made it this far in the video and you are serious about running a highly profitable advisory or CFO based firm, check out the video titled 500k in 10 hours a week. The link is posted somewhere around here. You can also grab your own copy of the Business Advisor Playbook, which has had over 7,000 downloads and has helped others like yourself double their profits and halve their working hours. The link for that is below here in the description. Thanks for tuning in today, and I'll catch up with you all again soon.